traditional water harvesting systems, which is prevalent in our country for so many centuries old. So before talking, just let me introduce my organization. As all of you know that Karnataka State Council for Science and Technology, established in 1975 in Indonesia of Science. Since inception of the council has been serving the state, both urban area as well as rural area, by using science and technology interventions to address the local specific problems of our state, to advise the government, to support the line departments in the state government and in general public in the area of water, energy, education, health, agriculture, geospatial technology, heritage technologies, and so on. Apart from water, we also has got very good flagship program called Student Project Program, which we have been running since almost 45 years. Since 1977, we have been running this flagship program called Student Project Program, wherein we are encouraging and we are supporting the innovative ideas of engineering college students, that too in final engineering students as well as master degree engineering students, to support their innovative ideas, to take the innovative ideas of the students to the market by funding as well as supporting technically, with having some experts from IISc, ISRO, NAL, CMTI, and various R&D organizations across the state, and especially from Bangalore. So far, we have supported around 12,500 projects, out of which around 1,000 projects have been commercialized, have been utilized by the common people of our state. So I take this opportunity to request all participants who are here to utilize this kind of programs and schemes available in our KCST. Likewise, we have so many science and technology interventions to address the problems of our state. Out of this, as we all know that water is one of the important sector. So as all of us know that water is very much essential natural resource of our planet Earth, which is very much useful for our mankind, animal life, and all living beings in the Earth planet. So in my presentation, I will be talking on the background of water harvesting. What are the traditional water harvesting system? What are the different types of traditional water harvesting systems available in our India, which were initiated by our ancestors and elders? Then why do we...
Dr. Vijay, one suggestion. Can you switch on your video?
Yeah, video is on, no?
Video is not on. That we are not able to see you.
No, his video is on.
It's on another source.
My video is on. Just because of presentation, I think you are not able to see my...
No, video is on other source. That's fine, Suresh sir.
Okay,
cool.
No problem.
My slides are visible, no?
Yes. Visible.
Yeah,
visible.
yeah.
Okay. Then what is the present status of traditional water harvesting systems which are prevalent in our country, which were constructed by our ancestors, elders? Then what is the need of rejuvenation of these traditional water harvesting systems? So then I will be also showing some of the case studies and success stories which have been carried by so many organizations in our state, including NGO as well as some government organizations. Plus, I will be covering some measures for water conservation in the end. So, as all of us know that water is very much essential natural resource for human, animal, and plant life. Rain is the main source of water resources. Then let us see, I think all of us, we know that our planet, Earth is covered 2/3 of water, 1/3 of area is covered with land resources. Out of that 2/3 area covered with water resources, 97% is available in the form of oceans and sea, that too salt water. Only we have left with 3% fresh water. That too, out of 3% fresh water, we have around 2% available in the form of ice caps and glaciers, and 1% available in the form of water bodies, surface water bodies, including rivers and including groundwater. So with this 3% fresh water only, we have to struggle, we have to live with this. With this background, we have to harvest the water. And what is the technology behind harvesting water? As the primary source of water is rainfall, as all of us know that. Was it started yesterday or before yesterday? Is it a new technology? No. It's centuries old. In fact, water harvesting started from the inception of our civilization. If you see this kind of structures, which are shown in the slides, even today, we can see this kind of structures which were constructed by our ancestors or our elders in the beginning of civilization. We can see a lot of series of this kind of structures which were constructed by our Harappa Mohenjo-daro civilization. From this, we can see this water harvesting, traditional water harvesting is there since centuries old, since inception of our civilization. If you take this, if you see this photograph, in Sigiriya, Sri Lanka, this reservoir cut into the rocks, which was constructed almost 5th century AD to harvest rainwater to be supplied to the nearby settlement through gravitational force. So like this, many countries have followed harvesting water traditionally with local available materials, with traditional knowledge. Let us see what is traditional water harvesting systems. See, basically, traditional water harvesting systems were constructed to store water for domestic, mainly for cattle drinking and irrigation purposes, along with recharging of groundwater. These are environmentally friendly and constructed using locally available materials with traditional knowledge, which are crucial to the overall ecosystem. These were constructed to harvest rainwater even in low rainfall receiving area to meet the requirement of water, which are also constructed as flood control measures. These were also constructed as monuments to showcase the richness of tradition, heritage, architecture, history, and culture of the region, which I will be showing in future slides. And they are all played very important roles in socio-religious and cultural activities of our Indian tradition. As we all know that annual float festivals, Tepotsava, light festivals, Deepotsava, and Kalyanotsav is to be taken place in these traditional water harvest systems. The two which were constructed near the temple complex. These are all called by various names in various states and regions of our country, like such as Jinx, Vav, Kalyani, Pushkarani, Bauri, Kund, Talabs, Urnis, Bawdi, and so on in different regions and states of our country. See, from this photograph, we can see is widely prevalent in all parts of our country, starting from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, depend upon the rainfall, depend on the site condition, depend upon the user requirement. Our ancestors used to construct this kind of different kinds of traditional water harvesting systems. If you take one by one, just I will be showing. Few structures which were constructed by our ancestors in different parts of our country. If you take Himalayan region, zincs, which are small water bodies used to store water from glaciers and diverted into channelize the water for irrigation purpose called as kul, the school irrigation, which was prevalent in Himalayan region. And if you come towards northwestern part of our country, that to Rajasthan part, where we some part of desert, where we receive around 200 mm annual rainfall. Tankas are some of traditional structures which were underground tanks to store water traditionally for to be to be used for domestic purpose. Even it continues to be used in residential area, temples, dharmashalas, and in some hotels also. Then coming to Vidya, which is prevalent in part of Gujarat as well as some part of Rajasthan. These were constructed by some nomadic people. These are all shallow wells dug into low depressions to store water and to be used for various uses. Then if you take kunds, these are also found in part of Rajasthan as well as Gujarat area. Basically, these are all underground tanks, primarily developed for tackling domestic purpose, which were more prevalent in the regions of where groundwater is saline. Then, before onset of rains every year, meticulous care was taken to clean up this catchments of the kunds. Then, if you take one more structure called Kuyi or Beri, which is about 12 to 20 meter deep, dug in near tanks to collect the seepage of groundwater. The typical type of this Kuyis or Beri, the mouth of this kind of structures are very narrow to allow to minimize the evaporation losses. Then this kind of structures, which are found also in Rajasthan area, and Kadin, basically to arrest the surface flow to be used for irrigation and other purposes. Then, in order to tap groundwater, our ancestors, our elders, even our kings who have ruled our country, they've constructed beautiful structures like this, stepped wells, Bauli or Kalyani or Pushkarani like this. One thing we can observe, apart from storing water to be used for various uses, see the sculpture of these structures. They used to showcase their culture, their history, their architecture in the form of traditional water structure. Apart from storing water, they used to showcase the tradition. They used to showcase the history or some their architecture or their culture also of different regions. You can see this kind of structures everywhere in every part of our country. This is some indicative structures are shown here. One is that's Chand Bauri in Abaneri in Rajasthan, which is having 3,500 narrow steps over 13 stories. And if you take this another structure, Agra Sainika Bauli, which is located in Hailey Road of Delhi, almost 60-meter long and 50-meter wide and 30-meter depth, almost 150 feet depth step well. Even today, we can see this kind of structures. If you take this Ranika Wow, which is located in Patan of Gujarat, which is recognized one of the World Heritage Site by UNESCO. It constructed on the banks of River Saraswati, which was built as a memory during 11th century. It was constructed as one of the religious as well as traditional functional structure and designed as inverted temple, highlighting the sanctity of water. Then if you see one more structure in which is located in Kotale village of Ahmednagar district, which was constructed in the foothills of this hills. Even today, water is very cold during summer season, that you can actually feel like you're standing in a refrigeration unit. Then if you take southern structures constructed in southern part of our country, these are called Pushkaranya stepped wells in earth holes constructed near temples, which were used for religious purposes near temple by constructed using locally available materials. Even if you take this structure called Eri, Urni, or small tank in Tamil Nadu and other parts of our Karnataka as well as Andhra Pradesh. Then coming to our own state, Karnataka, we have around 15,000 traditional water harvesting structures. Almost each and every village will be having one or other type of traditional structure, which were constructed by our ancestors. That too, we have 4 or 5 kind of major kind of structures in our state. There's Kalyani, Pushkarani, or stepped well, which are constructed near our temples. Then Kunte, Gokatte, Katte, Kere, and so on. Especially these 5 kinds of structures are very much prevalent in our state. We have around more than 15,000 such traditional water structures are located in different parts of our state. If you look at this picture, see the beauty of the structure. That too, which were constructed using locally available material like lime, mortar, and bricks. Then coming to the next kind of structure, this Kunte, believed to be constructed in the area of 1 gunta, like that. That's why the name came Kunte, which were constructed by our ancestors in the area of small, the low depression area, in the area of 1 gunta or 2 gunta, like that, which are being used for various uses, including groundwater recharging. Then one more structure is Gokatte. The name itself, it shows Gokatte, means is meant for cattle population. We can see these kind of structures everywhere. In almost each and every village of our Karnataka, will be having such kind of one or other type of structures. Then Katte. Katte is a little bit bigger structure than Kunte and Gokatte, and smaller than Kere or tank. Then our ancestors, our elders, they used to tap water, which is available in shallow level under the ground, through this kind of open wells, which were used for various uses, including domestic as well as irrigation purposes. Even today, we can see this kind of wells within the domestic houses, even in Karavali as well as Malnad area, in some part of even our Malleshwaram area also, we can see this kind of wells. But nowadays, since the government is supplying water at the doorsteps of the people, many of these kind of wells have been ignored by our community, both by government as well as our community also. See, if you see the importance of water during earlier days, you can see from this photograph, our people used to give very much importance to water source. When they used to assemble, they used to share a lot of knowledge, lot of discussion, and they collect water. I think you might have heard in Kannada, there is a proverb called ಊರಿಗೆ ಬಂದೋಳು ನೀರಿಗೆ ಬರ್ದಿರ್ತಾಳ ಅಂತ. Means if any new lady comes to village, definitely she will visit the water source when to get the water, and they used to share lot of knowledge. So this kind of importance was being given to water sources earlier days. Even if you see this, one of the Kalyani, which is the lighted with lamps and all, especially after the harvesting of crops, people used to gather near this traditional water source, and they used to perform lot of socio as well as religious activities like Tepotsava, Deepotsava, Kartikotsava, Kalyanosava, kind of thing. Even if you remember 30-40 years back, if any new lady comes to our village, we used to take her to the nearby water body. We used to offer Ganga Puja, and we used to take her to our house. But present, what is the situation? We have to perform the puja to our taps, which are in front of our houses. This kind of situation we are living now. If you see the present condition of this structure, traditional structures which were constructed by our ancestors, see the some of photographs which you have taken by our team. Structures physically they are intact, but the kind of structures being used by our community as well as the government, see the condition. Physically they are good, but hydrologically they are not in good condition. Because of this, we have gone to take the water, extract the water from deep and deep by way of this kind of hand pumps and bore wells. Then what is the present situation? Almost more than 50% of bore wells and hand pumps have been dead almost. So presently, our UNO, United Nations Organization, has given the scenario. There are over 663 million people living without safe water supply close to home. By another some 5 to 10 years, half of the nations in the world will face freshwater crisis or shortage. Almost by 2050, if the same situation continues, 70% of world population could face freshwater scarcity. And coming to our own country, more than 1/6 of more than 6 crore people living without safe water close to their home. Even in our own state, as per the study, out of 29,000 villages, still more than 7,000 villages are facing acute water shortage, both in terms of quantity as well as quality. You see how our people are struggling to get single pot of water from these photos, because we have not taken, these are all available in our newspapers. We have taken from the newspaper itself. Our own neighbors, who are living in our rural part of our state as well as the rural part of our other states, how they're struggling to get single pot of water. Even now, especially this leftmost photograph you see, it is the status of our state capital. In Delhi itself, in some area, they're struggling during summer to get water. See, even in Gujarat, in Assam also, where we have more than 10,000 mm annual rainfall, sometimes you have to struggle. If you don't harvest, don't store water properly, and if you don't use scientifically, if you don't maintain scientifically, definitely we have to face this kind of situations. Nowadays, it has become common. Either we have to struggle, we have to protest, or we have to fight each other. Even some people are saying, if third world war happens, it is because of war only, war for water only. Then what are the reasons for this scarcity of water? If you take, because we have plenty of water structures which are constructed by our ancestors, constructed by our even during British regime also. We have almost our country is receiving around 1,150 mm of annual rainfall, varied from 200 mm, but available in the 200 mm in a desert area and to 13,000 mm in northeastern states. What is the reason for scarcity of water? If you take one by one, definitely there is the increase of population, industrialization, urbanization, and ignorance and improper maintenance of traditional water structures, decrease in surface water bodies, erratic rainfall with space and time. Then we have gone for groundwater exploitation, change of land use and land cover pattern also has been taken place. Improper water resource management is very important. And of course, we have been experiencing this is the last one, that climate change and global warming. We have been experiencing it. Because of this climate change and global warming, we experience even rainfall during December and January also. If you see how we have converted our water bodies to various commercial purpose, our own Majestic bus stand, Bangalore city bus stand, once upon a time it was a Dharmabudhi tank. Our Kormangala housing complex, once upon a time it was a tank. KGI, I mean, golf course itself, it was one of Chalagata tank. Our this is a Sampagi tank, once upon a time it was a tank only. Almost we had around 262 water bodies. Now we could see only some around 82 water bodies in our Bangalore. Because of this, what happened? Either we see floods during rainfall because we don't have what place to store the water or place to conserve the water, place to allow the water to for groundwater recharging also. Either we have to see this kind of struggle for water. Either we see drought as well as floods during rainy season. Then what are the solutions? For every problem, definitely there will be solution. As all of us know that rainwater harvesting is one of the solution because we have very potential of rainwater. Rain to meet water demand is very much tremendous. Even if you receive 100 to 200 mm, definitely if you harvest properly, manage it scientifically, definitely we can suffice with our present requirements. Even if it is a 200 mm annual rainfall also, if you properly harvest it, definitely whatever traditional water harvesting systems which are constructed by our ancestors, if you rejuvenate these water bodies with minimal cost and with minimum investment by our community as well as by our government, definitely we can store more water, both surface water as well as we can increase the level of groundwater also. If you properly maintain the surface water bodies, definitely we can have more storage area. And if you start treating the wastewater which is coming out of our both domestic, non-domestic industries, if you recycle it and reuse it, definitely we can meet some of the requirement. And we should definitely allow recharging of groundwater aquifers, and we should manage the water resources presently available scientifically in order to store more water, allow the groundwater recharging, which can be used for future use. And planting of trees and increase the green cover is very much essential in order to get more rain, in order to allow the percolation, in order to minimize the evaporation losses. Definitely we have to go for planting of trees wherever we find place. These are all some of the indicative solutions I have listed in the slide. As part of assessing the present status of traditional water systems, we have taken up a study to assess the present status of traditional water harvesting systems, that too in our state of Karnataka. Because at present, most of these traditional water structures are in depleted condition and became dry, resulting into decline in their potentials. The temper tanks, too, which enjoyed protection from human because of religious sanctity, are also under threat. And most of the structures have been used as dumping gas. It's been ignored by our community as well as our government also. In order to assess the physical, hydrological status, and also in order to give scientific measures, we have taken up detailed study. We have visited almost each and every gram panchayat of our state, and we have assessed scientifically, and we prepared technical reports and given to the concerned district administration as well as rural development department of state government of Karnataka. So there, in this during our study, we have assessed the geographical location of traditional systems, where they are located, and administrative jurisdiction, and over the custodians of the structure, the status of usage. Then if it is not under use, what is the reason for disuse? Its catchment area, its source, whether it is from surface as well as the groundwater seepage. Then we have assessed the water storage capacity. What are the materials used for construction? Then drainage network, catchment area as well as inlet of the each and every structure. Then status of silt and geology and geomorphology of the structure, land to land cover of the structure, whether it is in the agricultural land or forest land kind of thing. And topography areas has been studied very scientifically, its slope and aspect and altitude. Then data of soil, its groundwater level, as well as the rainfall and climate condition of the area. And some structures we have also, wherever water available, we have also tested the quality of water, which can be used for various uses, including domestic as well as irrigation purpose. So we have collected around 25 parameters to 30 parameters for each and every structure, which is not available in any government department or the custodians of these structures. We have created database, both spatial and non-spatial. We have created in GIS environment, geographic system environment. If we click up on any structure, it will give the present status of the photographs, and it will give the different data parameters of the structure, starting from its physical condition to storage capacity, as well as its geology, geomorphology, soil, and so on, and its groundwater conditions also. By integrating all the thematic layers, its slope, soil, geology, geomorphology, and its drainage condition and all, we have integrated and assessed the status of physical as well as the hydrological status of the structure, and analyzed and given scientific measures for regeneration of these kind of structures. As part of our study, we have assessed around 13,500 structures such as Kalyani, Kunte, Gokatte, Katte, etc. This four major structures using geospatial technology. We have mapped everything, each and every structure. We have its geographic location, so its latitude and longitude, and district-wise, taluk-wise, gram panchayat-wise. We have prepared the reports, scientific reports, and we have submitted to the concerned district administration, Jilla Panchayat, Gram Panchayat, Taluk Panchayat, even including Rural Development Panchayat Department, who are the custodians of these structures. Fortunately, since almost 6 months to 1 year, rejuvenation of some of these structures, majority of these structures has been taken up under Jalamrita, MG Narega, Jalashakti Abhiyan, which is recently called by our beloved Prime Minister of our India, Jalashakti Abhiyan, catch the rain. Wherever it falls, just catch the rain and store the rain. Jalashakti Abhiyan. And also, we are creating a lot of awareness on importance of this rejuvenation of this traditional water harvesting, because we need to spend only few thousands of rupees. Otherwise, if you go on constructing, you have to spend more than crores of rupees for each and every structure. But if you spend some thousands of lakhs of rupees, definitely you can store more water, which can be used for various uses. So this is the list of district-wise structures, number of Kalyani, number of Kunte, number of Bokate, Katte, and its capacity also we have given. Around 13,500 structures we have assessed and we have given the scientific report to the concerned department for taking up rejuvenation works. Just I'm showing you here some few photographs of some structures which have been assessed by our team. This is one of the Kalyani in Gudekote. See the structure. If you want today, if you want to construct this kind of structure, definitely you need to spend more than 1 crore. But if you spend around 50,000 rupees, you can rejuvenate this kind of this Kalyani. What is the see the condition? The physical condition is very much intact, but only thing is see the status of silt, status of this kind of bush and all. If you clean it, if you desilt it, if you rejuvenate this water body, definitely you can have more water which can be used for various uses, including water recharging. See the beauty of the structure. Even in this kind of Kalyani, you can see even well and well. You can see small kind of well also in the Kalyani to ensure even availability of water even during summer season also. That kind of knowledge our ancestors had in their mind. See this Kalyani, just located in the Bangalore area of our Bangalore city. Almost 20% of the Kalyani has been encroached by our both BVP as well as our community. See this being used as a dumping yard.